Yo, what's good, people? It's Remi here again, out there, one of the elite runners in our league.
Done it.
I'm with Xavier Ajuwon. Did I say it right?
You did. I mean, close enough.
Hey, come on, bro, man. How you keeping? What's good?
I'm good, man. Obviously, trying to stay up during this quarantine period. I'm very busy, actually. Things did not quieten down. Obviously, I've had more time, low-key meeting to think about life.
I got you.
My goals, aspirations, where I'm trying to go in terms of career, just in general, you know. It's been a very reflective time. Obviously, there's a lot going on with socially and politically with Black Lives Matter, global pandemic. It seems like it's an alternate reality, you know what I'm saying? Every week there's something different.
2020 has been a surprise, hasn't it?
It's been a tumultuous year, but we up, man, you know, we're trying to stay up.
I hear you, bro. You're looking well.
I'm trying, you know what I'm saying? I've got the do-rag on, but the trim is crispy, don't get me wrong, it's crispy. So,
Hey,
yeah,
I got you. So, bro, we're just going to get right into it, man.
Cool.
So, tell me, man, like, how did you get into American football?
It's been like 11, 12 years now, man. The youth, the black don't crack for you, know what I'm saying? I'm getting on. So I started when I was about 15.
Right.
I'd always been very athletic. Been running track since I was probably about 6 or 7 years old. You know what I'm saying? Back from yay high. Did tracks, did 100, 200, 4x1, 4x2, long jump, high jump.
Right.
I'd done that for years. I was probably my best event was probably long jump in terms of explosiveness. I always had that.
What was this back in secondary school, yo?
This is before secondary school.
Before secondary school,
yeah, it's
right.
Busy, like, not busy bees, but like from nursery up, so what, like 5, 6.
Damn.
I've been doing athletics and stuff. I used to compete with Barnet AC, the local track team.
Right.
Did the whole competing for the Power of 10. If anyone track athletes out there, if you know what that is. Used to compete with Shaftesbury, everyone at Harringay, all the top athletes. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I've been doing it for a very long time. And what people don't really see with track athletes, especially with like athletics, it's just very lonely.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a real solitary type of work. So from doing it from a very young age, it got real lonely, it got real tiresome. Do you know what I mean? It kind of it grinds down on you, especially because more often than not, you've got other stuff going on, and I've been doing it for a long time. So I felt like I'd been doing it for a long time. So obviously went to secondary school, did rugby, basketball, still ran track and field.
Yep.
You know, just still stayed active. I was very active always. And as I started to play other sports, I started to develop physically in other areas as opposed to just like quick twitch and, you know, fast muscle fibers. I started to kind of thicken out a little bit, start to put some muscle mass on.
Developing and that.
Yeah, hand-eye coordination, you know what I mean? I started to realise I can do quite a lot of different sports. So when I was about 15, Under Armour came to Finsbury Park.
Right. What, the Under Armour?
Yeah, Under Armour came to Finsbury Park and they did a combine. I was 15 then, and they went to Finsbury Park and it was fantastic. You know what I'm saying? Everyone got free crepes, free cleats. Jeez. You know what I'm saying? It would give us a number and the stuff they did. It was as official as you're gonna get in this country.
Got you.
You know what I mean? So we did everything. We did every type of athletic aptitude test there was, and obviously having done athletics and multiple sports for a long time, physically, I was there.
Yep.
But I'm sure with everyone who plays American football, or has played for any period of time, you realise that just being athletic is just a starting point.
Oh yeah.
More often than not, you really have to develop skill. So when I started playing American football for the Blitz, which is my local team, Finsbury Park,
okay.
I sucked.
So this was at youth level, right?
Yeah, I sucked, man. I sucked. I played multiple positions. I played linebacker, receiver,
We'll get into that.
back.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
But yeah, I played a lot of positions, you know, when I was first starting, but I wasn't very good. I was just very athletic.
Right.
And I felt like American football was the first thing for me personally that kind of taught me the formula for success, which is obviously hard work consistently equals success. No one can take it from you.
100%.
You know, it's real internal. And what was different for athletics for me personally was the fact that you grow individually and then you bring your skill set to a team. And for a successful play to happen, a lot of things with a lot of different individuals have to go right simultaneously. So that for me, it was very gratifying. You know what I mean? So and then from there, I just took it up. You know what I mean?
Man. So, bro, it always interests me like the paths people take into the sport, you know, and just to see that, you know, you've been invested in track and athletics from a young age.
Yeah.
Went to this DSA combine and,
Yeah.
you know, from there realised that, listen, football's kind of a path you want to go on. Like,
Yeah, man, for sure.
Man, that's interesting, bro.
Sure.
So, off that, how long have you been playing and what teams have you played for?
Okay, so I've been playing for 11 to 12 years.
Right.
I've played for, started London Blitz, then I played Birmingham Lions.
Jeez, the Birmingham Lions.
Yeah, the Birmingham Lions, first year.
Right.
We went to semis. First time we lost at home. That was a heartbreaker, that one. Then next year we won it. You know what I'm saying? I had a great year.
So the whole thing, right?
Yeah, we won the national championship.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I remember your name was ringing bells, bro.
Yeah,
you guys went 11-0, right?
Yeah, we got it in that year.
Yeah,
We
so tell me, like,
we kicked ass that year.
what was it to be part of that 11-0 team, like at Birmingham? Do you know what I mean? Like, Wayne Hill was you lot's coach, right?
Yeah, Wayne Hill was our coach. Was for both my years. I did during my masters. So basically, Wayne Hill is a great coach. Do you know what I mean? And with him, he's very upfront about who he is as a person. Do you know what I'm saying? If you're upfront with him, he'll be upfront with you.
Yep.
He'll tell you what it is. And I really appreciated that, and I've always appreciated that. During my Blitz youth times, I had Coach Jason Henry. Shout out to him.
Jeez.
My guy, he always chasing somebody, but he always had the best of half of all his athletes. You know what I mean? And I think for a lot of athletes, that's what you really wanted, someone who's going to push you hard, but at the same time, they're doing it out of love. Also, Coach Clemens, Coach K, you know what I'm saying? Anyone at Blitz Juniors, they know about Coach K.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's DSA, Dynamic Sports Academy, also located at Finchley Park.
Right.
That was a significant part of my growth, because when I was like it's been locked down, you know what I'm saying? I've been trying to get it in, but it ain't the same. But when I was a skinny youth, and seeing these older guys pushing weights, like serious weights, as young bulls, I was like, okay, like, I want to be like this. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to succeed. I want to be able to achieve. I want to be able to dominate.
Older guys set the precedent.
Man, it set the precedent. It set the tone
influence.
from early.
I see.
Like, if I'm 15, 16 years old, we running 10 100s.
There you go, man.
We're running 10 100s.
There you go.
And 4 200s. And they do it per position. If you don't, as a running back, if I ain't running, for example, 12 seconds every single time, bro, you run it again. If you ease up, you run it again. Do you know what I'm saying? So that built that mental toughness
in you,
that I think enabled the success that you obviously see with the Blitz Juniors and Blitz Youth now,
right?
Because that's really ingrained in it. And obviously we would do that after we've had a full weightlifting session with Olympic lifts, conventional lifts. Do you know what I'm saying? It really built your character. We worked on the mental aspects of the game, your approach to the game, what you think about when you're preparing to succeed, the importance of how to approach your mentals and your physicals in terms of taking care of your body, eating well, sleeping right. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I think it's a very complete, the whole spectrum of being an athlete and what it takes to succeed as an athlete. And I feel like when you prepare like that physically and mentally in sports, it carries over into life. So I think it really builds those foundational blocks for being successful outside of sports. And I felt like I was very fortunate to have that from quite an early age, especially coming from an athletics background and transitioning to obviously now, many years later, transitioning to a professional career, but I'm sure we'll get to that. But so Blitz Juniors, Blitz Youth, Blitz Juniors,
right.
Birmingham Lions.
Right.
After the semi-final loss to Sterling, that was probably...
That's the Klansmen, right?
Yeah, the Sterling Klansmen.
That's another team I heard a lot about.
Bro, that team is probably, to date, and this is me going to Europe as well, one of the best teams I've ever played against.
Wow.
Period.
Wow.
They had certain, obviously you can even tell because they had all Americans from the States.
Yeah.
They had.
I remember seeing them ads, man.
They had all Europeans. They had that's a testimony to Coach Rob Orr. He was the former head coach there,
right.
who really recruited hard. And he was also one of my head coaches earlier, but obviously we'll get to that as well.
Okay.
So yeah, like that was one of the best teams I ever played against. You know what I'm saying? They had ballers everywhere. They had guys who could play both ways. They had guys that could go Europe, who played in the States. They had guys that should be on CFL teams or NFL practice squad teams. Like it was a legit team. Do you know what I'm saying? And obviously it reflected that, because if you remember the 2014 to 15 Sterling Klansman final against Hearts, it was a whooping.
Yeah.
It was a whooping. And obviously the finals really was us versus Sterling, and they just made more plays consistently. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So for a lot of the older guys who played in that game and who played at that level, it kind of opened the eyes to the level that can be played in the UK. So that following year, 2015, 2016, that's where you saw Birmingham Lions steamrolling everyone, because we took that same mentality, that same aggression, that same we'll win, we're going to dominate into the postseason, from the postseason into the preseason, and then the whole way through the season. We was rolling through teams.
There you go, man.
You know what I'm saying? And then obviously we got a chance to get back at Sterling in the finals, and obviously we did that. You know what I mean? That's how you win a ship.
Listen, I'm gonna watch that tape. Like, I need to go see that again.
Man. It was serious. It was a real good game.
Word.
Obviously I've kind of mentioned the teams I played for up until university and before playing professionally overseas. I also, from 2012 to 2013, I played for the FBU. It's actually a funny story in terms of how I ended up playing for the Football University, or representing Team Europe.
Right. So this is the
FBU,
right?
Yeah, Football University. And obviously being able to represent Europe, and obviously meeting a lot of guys that would later on dominate in Europe or go college. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we were to look at the squad of people that played in that 2012, 2013 All-Star team, a lot of those guys are either went D1 or are ballers now in Europe, or went to Canada. Like, I can name 10 people top of my head. Do you know what I'm saying? Easily. Or who dominated in the UK, do you know what I'm saying? So it was a testimony to show how good the recruiting was and how competitive it was as well, because you can see years later, these guys are flourishing in the sport. So it's actually a funny story. So that 2012 season was my last year playing juniors as well. So I was 18, turned 19. And because obviously everyone knows you can play up to 19. That was also when it was 11 on 11 as well. Yep. Obviously one of the last few years of legacy for the Blitz juniors in terms of consistently winning championships, like that period of time. So I obviously Blitz juniors, we won it that year. That was 2012. You can obviously go on YouTube, check that out. You see Xavier Ajuwon, you know, I remember that like it was yesterday. And that's when I was like, oh damn, I can really ball out. You know, so I can do this. And I think I'd applied for GB Youth, GB Juniors, whatever it's called back then, and I didn't get in. And all my teammates got in. I didn't get through the first round. I was thinking, what rubbish is this? You know what I'm saying? I'm questionably the best player, on the best team in the country. I didn't make the team. How does that make sense? Right. So I was talking to the running backs coach. I'm not going to put him on blast, but he knows who he is. I mean, we good now, to be fair. And we made up time ago. But it was funny because I was saying, well, why didn't I wanted to chase up. I wanted to represent my country like at the top level for the sport that I'm the most passionate about. Oh yeah. And he was like, oh, you didn't do this very well. We need you to improve in this. We had other guys on the day that just did rare. Fair, I bet. I mean, there's quite a few months until that time. So, I mean, I'm going to show you. This was towards the beginning of the season. I'm going to show you, like, you made a mistake. So, every game, I had that drive. You know what I'm saying? I had that fire, man. And so, every game, I'll take what he said, that constructive criticism, and I'll put it into the game. That season, we were steamrolling teams. I was balling. So every game, I'd cut on my highlights and I'd send it to him, or I'd send on the whole game. Like, okay, well that was good, but he didn't work on this. It continued like that all the way through the year until it got to the point that we're in the finals now. This same running back coach that's there, and he's just like, yeah, well, congratulations. I've been obviously keeping up. You've been keeping informed. You're in the finals now. Obviously, there's the knowledge that obviously I'm the one of the main running backs and one of the driving forces for the team. You know what I'm saying? And we're in the national finals. So you've got the best team, arguably the best team in the country, and one of the best players in the country now. And it's not just spoken about. There's proof. And I'm like, well, so what's going on with it? The team selection is like, unfortunately, at this point, it's too late. Right. Mad. I thought mad. Obviously, that aggression. We had this conversation before the game, and if you watch that game from 2012 against the Lancaster Wolverines or something like that, like you can see that I ran angry the whole game. Not just that season. It was like it was the epitome of that season for me. Yep. Because I'd put in all this work.
Sending tape
after tape, grind after grind, taking knocks. Obviously, I play running back. You take a licking, and I felt like I wasn't rewarded for my efforts. Right. So it's funny how life works. So after that, I didn't make the team.
So I'll pause you there. Yeah. Like, would you say there's a bit of favoritism going on there?
Oh, for sure. There's definitely favoritism because obviously you've got this coach from this area and he's got his guy, but it's the same at any level. You know what I mean? Even in it's the same in high school in America. It's the same in BAFA over here. It's the same in college. It's the same in NFL. Everyone has their guy. Do you know what I'm saying? Unless it's unequivocally obvious that that person is just that much better than everyone else. And for me personally, I felt it like it was. Do you know what I'm saying? So I felt very offended. I took it to heart. Do you know what I'm saying? Because this is a game of passion.
Yeah,
you need a lot of passion to play this game. So obviously, when we won the finals, I then won MVP. I won MVP, offensive MVP for the game. During that game, we had a conversation again. I was like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
what else you need to see, man?
What now, bro? What now? You know what I mean?
I hear you.
So it's funny. Obviously, they didn't make the team. They flew out. I'm not sure how they did. I was very bitter. And then an opportunity came. It was for the football university. They were going to collate players from all over Europe to fly to San Antonio, Texas, and play in the tournament. I said, okay, I'm gonna do this. So I went to Bristol. It was held at Filton Academy.
Right.
Yeah. They've got amazing facilities that they still do now. They still producing top level athletes, top level football players.
Bristol, Coach Ben.
Shout out to them, Ben Herod. He's a good guy. And yeah, I balled. You saw that passion. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was catching the ball, whether it was running the ball, whatever it was, I was determined to show out, and I did. And then I was one of the first people selected for that team, and that's when I also met Coach Rob Orr as well for one of the first times, who was also my OC, and his mentality, his aggression for winning, it was infectious. You know what I'm saying? And I loved that about him. So that was my coach, and then obviously later on, he was the head coach for the Sterling Klansmen in our semi-finals at Birmingham. You know, full circle now, you're seeing it.
Wow.
Yeah, the same coach that had not taken me on during juniors for the GB, was then my running back coach at the University of Birmingham when I played there as well.
Wow.
Full circle, you get me?
Yeah.
In that final year where we won a championship, we was against Sterling, and again we got the dub. So you saw that whole little football journey, full circle, man. So yeah. So after that, 2016 period, that was probably the most dominant I feel like I've ever been, because the way in which I approached the game was like a college football athlete. Do you know what I'm saying? It wasn't Bucks. This was my version of whatever it was, because I'd wanted to go to the States. Like, I'd felt like I was good enough. I was talking to NCSA, the National, I can't remember, Collegiate Scouting, whatever it was. I can't remember the correct acronym for it. Yeah, like back in 2012/13. About there, but that was also the same period of time when university fees went from 3K to 9K, and I was like, I studied law in it. I was thinking, okay, so am I about to take that leap of faith
for real.
now and end up having to pay how much more? I don't know, you know. So obviously, you saw what happened. I stayed in the UK, made that choice. So for me, this was the culmination of my passion, my efforts over the years, and it showed. I was dominant the whole year. From start to finish. I don't think I had a bad game. I mean, even when I had a bad game, we were still dominant. And the mindset that we all had, I felt like I was kind of like the cog. Obviously, we had all the pieces, but there had to be like a centerpiece, and I felt like I was able to put myself, I put that responsibility on my own back as well, as someone who was older, as someone who'd had these experiences, to kind of will myself. And I felt like when you have that, and then you have those people around you, like my teammates, like Mike Akinlade, beast. Obviously played in the States.
Yeah. Didn't he got picked up by like a school in the States, right?
Yeah, he
plays
went
Blitz,
to the States. Yeah, he went to the States. After that year, we had Samuel Baker, my QB. There's a lot of names. You know what I'm saying? Alex Soto, wide receiver, who was a vocal and emotional leader on the team. We had a lot of people who it meant a lot to that year. And when you had that, let's not even talk about the defense. The defense was dogs.
Mad.
The O-line was dogs. I can't shout out the whole team, but you get what I'm saying. We had people who really wanted to be held accountable for what happened, you know, that year, and it showed. You know, we dominated. After that year, I was like, okay, next step is Europe. I'm gonna get paid to play football. I'm gonna get paid to do the thing that I love. And I think that's a lot of.
So all up until now, this is
2016.
We've gone Blitz Youth.
I've gone Blitz Youth, Blitz Juniors. I played for Team Europe, FBU, went to San Antonio, Texas. I then played for obviously university. During that university period of time, mistakes are not made this time. I made the GB students team.
So just at Birmingham Lions.
Yeah. I made while I was at Birmingham Lions, I made the GB students team. So we went to Finland. Beat the brakes off Finland for the students. We wanted to go to the World. I don't know what happened with BAFA, but we obviously didn't go.
Yeah, I heard about that as well.
That team, I feel like if we had gone to that, there would be a lot more people, a lot more athletes who play at the top level in this country that were committed to the sport.
Yep.
But when you move the goalposts and you no longer have that future goal to aspire towards, it's very demotivating, especially when you really in this country you really don't get the support you need.
Yeah, I remember that.
And for an athlete.
I remember that. I know a lot of people, close to my friends, were on that team as well, and they put in work. And they thought they were going to Mexico for World Championships, and then next thing you know, I'm hearing because Bucks and Baffa can't agree on something. You know,
they really did a disservice to the athletes, man.
All these athletes have been putting in work for time, just dreams dashed down the drain.
You've got nowhere to go. You've got nowhere to put that energy and passion into doing. It's an expensive sport. It's a painful sport. It's a sport that requires a lot of energy, time, effort, and passion. So when you have that, it's like it extinguishes something. It's like they've taken something from you, something that you thought you'd work towards. So I think for a lot of people, it's very demotivating. At the same time, obviously you can see now with the NFL Europe, not NFL Europe, but you see what the NFL is trying to do, extending its arm into Europe, and the CFL. You've kind of seen a resurgence of that passion for young athletes who have something to aspire towards. But that's obviously future.
Yeah.
So after obviously the world and that didn't happen, I was like, okay, well, I want to get paid to play. For a lot of athletes in this country, playing in Europe is, you know, the next step and probably one of the biggest steps if they don't have CFL or NFL aspirations, which is obviously one of the longest for shots, because it's tangible. You more often than not, if you're in the the American football community in this country, you know someone who's played in Europe. Do you know what I'm saying? And they tell you about the life, and the life is exactly as described. To be honest, provided obviously you go to a good situation.
Yeah. What's going on? So what was that? What was Euroball like?
So my first year, I went to Finland. I went to Hämeenlinna Huskies.
Right.
I was recruited by Coach Stan Bedwell.
Okay.
Infamous, good guy. I love that guy. Obviously, he's like Marmite, I guess. You know, you have a love him, you hate him. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, my experience with him was nothing but positive the entire time, and it's remained positive. Do you know what I'm saying? Throughout the years, that was 2016. We went to the Hämeenlinna Huskies. There was me, him, and an American import named Archie. He played at Vanderbilt, linebacker, great guy, fantastic athlete. If I was to throw in a clip of him, he must have tried to block a punt. And he's like 6'3", 6'4". And when I say he was up to block this punt, I'm not sure if he got pushed up. I don't know what happened. He's got full helmet pads and everything. He was probably about like 6'5", and I don't know how much it is in meters. He was like his feet, his knees were where someone else's head was. And he's a big guy already. Like he got up. So he's a fantastic athlete. And then we had another linebacker, a California guy, played D2, amazing athlete as well, played linebacker. I think he played offense, but he mainly played linebacker for us. His name's Kevin. Can't remember the surname, but great guy as well. And yeah, so that year in Europe, my first year in Europe, it was an eye-opening for me because as an athlete, like I think I'd ruptured my AC that season, and they're paying me to play. You know what I'm saying? It was fantastic. I had food 7 days a week. I had a bike. I had private healthcare. Had my doctor on call whenever. Like it was, you know, it was what you want as an athlete. Do you know what I'm saying? As a professional athlete, I had everything. Obviously accommodation, salary. The life in Finland as well. The quality of life is very high. Something they don't tell you that the water in Finland. Hey, bro. Hey, listen. That was one of the biggest. Honestly, that was one of the biggest things I missed. You know, because that water in Finland is madness.
Different.
It's different.
Sent straight from the mountains.
I don't know what they do to it, but it's different. So yeah, like that year I tore my AC joint, and obviously they're giving me all these benefits. They want to see returns on their investment. So I'm practicing, bro. My arm was like, it was dead. You know what I'm saying? And you just have to keep working through it. You know what I'm saying? It's like college. You know what I'm saying? That you can't get no play in the tub. If you sit, I'm not sure if you've seen. A lot of people's probably seen last chance. You know, you in the tub, you can't get in the club.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
The cold tub is what I'm talking about. So, rehab, bro. It was to the point where the muscles around the AC were strong enough that the damage done wasn't going to get any worse. But in terms of pain, it was excruciating. When I say like just to lift my arm like this, it was like someone shoving nails into the part. If anyone's had an AC joint separation, AC joint ligament strain or tear, you'll understand. So before every game and at halftime, I used to have to get shot in the joint, you know what I'm saying? And we didn't obviously want to let the other team know. So obviously I'd do my warm-up stuff before games, and then right before I would go up to the locker room, the doctor would come, all right, I get my shot, you know what I'm saying? And that's the side they don't show you about playing in Europe, you know what I'm saying? Like teams really you're there for a purpose, you're there to win championships.
Of course, man.
That's why you're there to be a leader in the community, you're there to be a leader on the team, you're there to set the tone, set the example, you know what I'm saying? Don't go out to Europe thinking, oh, I'm just here for a jolly. You'll get sent home
100%.
real quick, you know what I'm saying? So that year, we competed throughout the year. We started off with a loss to the Helsinki Wolverines, and obviously we played a lot of teams now that you probably see in the Maple League now, Helsinki Wolverines, Kuopio Steelers, I'm sure there's another team in there, but we played a lot of teams that you see in the Maple League now, and it was pretty competitive for what it was.
I heard a lot, man.
I'd probably compare it to slightly above BAFA, you know what I'm saying? Because this is the Division 1, so the Maple League's top, and then you got the Division 1 underneath that. That year, we won a championship. So I'd won a championship with Bucks, with the Birmingham Lions. Mm-hmm. Same year, won a championship in Finland, my first pro contract. I was loving life, bro.
I should have brought your rings out today,
I was loving
B.
life,
Come
bro.
on.
I was loving life, bro. You know what I mean? It was sweet. That victory was sweet. Next year, I went to Englestad. Englestad, for me personally, had a bad experience.
Right, that's in GFL South, right?
GFL 1 South, yeah. I had a bad experience with them.
Right.
In terms of just how I didn't see eye to eye with management. I didn't see eye to eye with coaching. Mm-hmm. I was not the only one in that situation. And when I came into it, it just wasn't, especially having come from what I just had, it wasn't what I'd expected. Good. You know? And I think I kind of felt very isolated there. Do you know what I mean? Obviously I had the imports there as well who'd been there for a while, but they kind of knew what it was as well. And so I think that there was a lot of issues within the team, a lot of issues with the management. The team itself, right, as athletes, as players, phenomenal. Good. One of the best teams I've probably played on in terms of individual players. One of the some great, amazing people on that team. Do you know what I'm saying? I still have friends from my time there now who've obviously gone and done that other thing as well. But in terms of my personal experience, it wasn't the best one. You know what I'm saying? And that ended the way you would expect, like that. I was head home, towards the mid-season, and without getting into too much detail, that was a blessing for me. You know what I'm saying? To leave that situation.
I hear you.
Because but I'm not really one to speak bad about people when they can't defend themselves. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it wasn't the best experience for me personally. That's not to say that other athletes can't obviously thrive and flourish in that situation. Of course they can, and there were athletes that would. I personally didn't. That for me as well was quite a tumultuous time in terms of emotionally, because something that I'm so passionate about and something I love so much, it felt like it had been turned into something else, something negative, some sort of source of stress. It was no longer my escape. It was something I drew a lot of pain from. Do you know what I'm saying? So obviously I came back in time enough to play and start in BAFA. But my heart wasn't in it, man. After my experience there at all, I didn't even want to play football.
So basically, after you left Englestad midway, you've come back. And
my heart went in it, man. And that's a crazy thing for me, because I love football. You know what I mean? And if anyone knows me, they know how much I love football. But yeah, it really soured my whole experience. You know what I'm saying? Being an athlete over there, and that's something as well. Like I touched upon earlier, you have to be very conscientious about the environment that you're going into and the teams that you sign with. Just because it's all glitz and glamour on the outside, speak to people who've played there. Do your research about the environment you're going into. Do your research about what you're being promised. Do your research, because as an athlete from overseas going to play in an overseas country, you're leaving your environment completely and going to a completely new environment with people you never met. There's a lot of things that are involved in that. For example, my offensive coordinator at the start of that season, the guy who recruited me, along with 2 other players, I think before I touched down, he was no longer affiliated with the team. Damn. The second OC, which I'd had during that season, he had a better opportunity. He left midway through the season. And he took his O-line coach with him as well. So you've had 2 OCs leave, 1 O-line coach leave. After that, I don't even know who was the OC, do you know what I'm saying? But real wild out there, man. For me personally, it was a real wild season. After that period of time, I was very hesitant because I was still getting offers. I was getting mad offers. I still get offers now. Do you know what I mean? But I was very, very careful about where it was that I was going to go next. So, Kevin Conrad, my head coach for the Solingen Paladins in GFL 2 North.
Right.
Which, if anyone's familiar with the GFL, in my opinion, the North tends to be stronger than the South. 100%. I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure if it's a fallout from terms of infrastructure from how things were and from NFL Europe. I'm not really sure. Yep. But you tend to find that it's really a two-horse race in the South, and then the North tends to be a lot more competitive. Obviously, you've got a multitude of top-level teams. Yep. You've got a lot of athletes that will have gone and played in NFL, who had played in NFL Europe, or who played in NFL practice squads. And something I found with the GFL, you get a lot of D1 athletes. You get a lot of athletes who probably could have played in CFL, or who had stints with NFL practice squads, stuff like that. It's a very high level of football. Yep. That, and I've also heard Austria, Maple League is a good level of football. I mean, it's good football, but Germany, I think, is the gold standard in my opinion, especially GFL North, both 1 and 2. So yeah, man. So Kevin Conrad, and what he sold to me wasn't just football. I mean, they run the ball a ton. As a runner back, that's music to my ears. Yep. But it was the fact that he spoke more of family, spoke more of a togetherness, and I got there, and it was exactly as he said. What he said. Like it was amazing. Probably one of the best years of football I've ever had. And had I not obviously wanted to start like real life, I probably would have gone back there again because I loved it, man.
Was going to ask, like, bro, I didn't see you out there last year.
Yeah, I came back, bro.
Yeah?
I had to start life.
I hear you.
I studied law. You know what I'm saying? Law.
Right.
So it's very hard to balance those two things. Being a high-level professional athlete and obviously wanting to qualify. I'm going to qualify as a solicitor. Well, I'd like to qualify. I want to qualify as a solicitor in the UK, as an attorney in the States. That is my plan, and that's what I'm currently doing right now. But you can't really coordinate those two things together at the same time and be successful at both. It's a very difficult thing to do. So yeah, man. So that year in GFL 2 North, I had an amazing time, man. The connections I made out there, I was still great friends. You know what I'm saying? I inherited a family. That's what it felt like. I spent my 25th birthday out there, and it still felt fantastic. You know what I'm saying? I got to experience so much. I partied. I lived life. We practiced hard. The team that we had in that GFL that year, I honestly feel like we should have won it. Yep. You know what I'm saying? I honestly feel like we should have been promoted that year. Was that their first year in the GFL 2? I think it was their first. I think it was also their first year in the GFL 2.
I think
they'd just been promoted.
I'm trying to think who got promoted that year. Was it the Panther that got promoted that year?
No, so the Panthers got promoted to GFL 1, 2018. However, the Paladins, I think, had just gone from GFL 3 to GFL 2. Yeah. And our run game was ferocious, bro. It was ferocious. Like, if you check the GFL 2 stats from that period of time, you'll see the top 3 runners on our team balling. I think we all averaged. Gonna see the highlights. Yeah, we all averaged over 7 yards. I think. I'm not sure. I know I was like 7.8 yards a carry or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just wanted more touches, but that's when you had 3 running backs and you're the latest running back to join. It'd be like that. You know what I'm saying? So I got to also play other positions. I got to play some more defense, which I really enjoyed. I played some nickel cornerback, played some safety, obviously kick return, punt return, not more kick return than anything. But yeah, man, I got to play a bunch of positions. I got to meet great people. I got to inherit another family. That year, the final game we played against Elmshorn, it was a freaking movie, man. I think the final game was like 55-52 or something like that. Damn. And it came down to like a last second interception by one of my teammates. I had to pick that game. I had to touchdown that game. I had hella tackles. I had QB hurry-ups. I played everywhere. Like, that game was lit. It was fire, bro. And that was away as well. So that crowd was loud as hell. Like, it was wild. That was one of the funnest games I played in, man. Like, point blank period. The running back for the Elmshorn Pirates, I think, is probably one of the best running backs and one of the best football players I have ever played.
Yeah, he's a G. I know you. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Kyrie Dickinson.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that man's the truth, bro.
I know you're talking about.
He's an animal, bro.
He's part of the reason why they got promoted this season.
He's the reason. He's the reason. I'm real upset that I didn't get to see him tear up the GFL 1 this year, because that man is a problem. Yeah, he's a problem. He does everything, and he's a good athlete, man. Fantastic athlete and a good guy. So it was a fun game, man. I was playing defense as well, so I was tackling that guy. Hey, boy, it's tough. And playing running back as well, I kind of understand what it takes to be successful. Yeah, man, he has all that in the bag of chips, bro. So yeah, man. So then after that, I went back to Blitz and tried to balance, obviously playing domestically, leaving that life behind, and starting my life basically. I was also playing for the GB, I was part of the GB squad. I've remained part of the GB squad the entire time. I forgot. In fact, actually, sorry, towards the end of the end of that Solingen season, obviously still great connections with coaches out there. So Stan Bedwell hit me up, and I was able to represent a team, the Bucharest Rebels.
Right.
Yeah. In Paris.
Right.
For an international tournament. So that was a lot of fun. They footed the bill for everything. It was great, man. It was really great.
Right. So you're proper well-seasoned Euroballer then. Like,
I played for a while,
you've been
man.
out there.
Yeah, I've been out there, man. It's been good. It was great. I got to meet some guys out there. Obviously, got to play in Paris. Got to experience Paris. It was fun, man. You know what I'm saying? I think we came second in that, which sucks because we played in the final. We lost by like a hair. You know, so that was frustrating. But at the same time, it was great to form a bond with those guys as well. Obviously, football has brought me so much. It's added so much value to my life that I really couldn't see where I'd be without it, because in terms of growing as an individual, growing as a young man, growing in terms of my aspirations, understanding that I'm an ambassador whenever I go to these new places, understanding what it takes to be successful, understanding how to not just lead a team, but be part of a team, understanding how to follow a lead, understanding how to work with different people, different cultures. It's brought me immeasurable benefits, man.